Obviously, Reynor deserves a little bit of time. Otherwise, it would not be fair if they make him play immediately. Let's take a look. Did they update the bracket? Who's playing who? Don't be weird, Rels. If we were to get a PvP Grand Final at IEM, who would it be? That seems incredibly unlikely. That seems incredibly unlikely, mate. So Maru is going to battle it out with Dark in the lower bracket, and Hero will drop to this round of the lower bracket. So it's going to be Hero, Solar, Maru, Dark. The winners of those two series will play against each other. Are we going to do all three tomorrow? No. Tomorrow is just 2 best of 7s, guys. So tomorrow at noon we're going to have 2 best of 7s, and then on Saturday we're going to have a best of 7 and a best of 7, and then okay. So Sunday is actually very short. It's just a single series. I mean, it is a best of 9, but cool. The winner of our next series obviously guarantees top 2 in the tournament. That's pretty big as well. That means that if you win the next series, you guarantee yourself 9.1k. That's actually a pretty big pay jump, right? Because if you lose, you're guaranteed top 3 and you have 4.5, which is not bad. But just winning this series guarantees you another 4.6k and obviously puts you in a very good spot to potentially win it all. All 17,000 Benjamins. It's a lot of Benjamins. By the way, they're not doing a lot when it comes to like normally we see them sit in the studio for WTL Code S, and we see the Chinese casters a little bit, and they have some other memes going. And this tournament has been fantastic, but whenever there is not a game, they just kind of give us like one screen with the scores, and that's it. Every now and then they run a few ads, but nothing else. Best of 13. I recently covered a best of 35. 45, excuse me. 2 Protoss players around 4.9k played 30-something PvPs against each other, and we watched all of it. Do not ask me why I do those things, but it was kind of fun. We had a good time. We had some giggles. I think best of 9 is pushing it a little already, but it's all good. It is obviously a very big tournament, so if it makes them happy, it will make me happy. What is my prediction for this? It's very difficult, because obviously the last time they played against each other was in the opening round of the Swiss format. Serral looked very dominant in that one. Like, Reynor obviously put up a bit of a fight on Hecate, but overall Serral just looked better. That was, I think, the very first round. Yeah, the very first round of the Swiss format. Serral got a 2-0. But Reynor has played a lot of games of StarCraft ever since then. I know that he has found some success on the ladder against Serral as well. He stole a couple of Serral's ladder points, and that's not easy because Serral is incredibly high ranked, and I'm sure he does his best. So I think it's going to be close. Maybe Serral is still ever so slightly favored, but I'm not really feeling that. If you guys think that he's favored, I have complete peace with that. I don't think that's a bad take at all. According to the channel points, you guys think that he's heavily favored. I don't know. I kind of believe in Reynor today, but let's see. May the better player win, right? They're both amazing. They have both beat each other plenty of times in the past. I mean, they have a pretty rich history with one another. And especially Serral doesn't play in a lot of tiny online tournaments. So most of the time when these two meet, it kind of means something immediately. We can take a little look at their historic head-to-head. They have played 46 series in total. 30 of those went in favor of Serral. Serral won 105 maps, and Reynor won 77 maps. Serral actually has a bit of a win streak right now, 4 in a row. But I think the Reynor that he's going to play today is the best Reynor that he has played in a while. This was definitely a bit of an outlier. We can search for... This is a best of 7, right? Yeah. So the last best of 7 they played, Reynor won 4-0. Before that, obviously Serral won the grand finals of IM Katowice 2022, the first year after COVID. That was a pretty epic final. I'll never forget the Corruptors on Glittering Ashes. Also played against each other in the final of a Piggy tournament in a best of 7. Don't really remember this one, Doyu Cup. Seems that Serral won the winner bracket and then Reynor won the grand finals. 2020 DreamHack Summer main event. I think this was in Kiev, maybe? I think that was in Ukraine. These seems like, or was this just never mind, this is the online regionals. So this was not offline, this was online regionals. I think this was the one that I'm thinking of in Ukraine. With the legendary Thunderbird game. No, wait, this was actually in the Blizzard studio, sorry. I think the first time that Reynor beat Serral, it was in the Blizzard studio. Where we had a lot of those broadcast days. Yeah, I actually did not cast this tournament. I wasn't invited. It was in Burbank, California. By the sounds of it, the nerds are ready to battle. And if these nerds are ready, I am ready. Not too long ago, Reynor and Serral played a series against each other where Reynor hit Serral with the good luck have fun buddy. And Serral did not respond. He left him on red, baby. And that one stung a little. Serral went on to dominate the entire best of 5, 3-0. And that was a lesson for all of us. Never ever good luck have fun buddy Serral. Will Reynor try it again, guys? Do you believe that he's gonna bring it back? Are we gonna get a good luck have fun buddy? That was an El Sayani as well, I think. Upper bracket final, Masters Coliseum 7. Here we go. An all Basilisk encounter between two of the finest Zergs to ever play this game. Top right side, the Finnish Phenom, Basilisk Serral. Bottom left side, the Italian Stallion. His rival on the European scene for many years. And now obviously teammate, Basilisk Reynor. Shout out to XXXNT for the 2 months. Is Reynor listening to rap right now? Could be. He seems to be vibing. He's trying to get pumped up. If I have to guess, I'm gonna go with a bit of 50 Cent or some Eminem. Reynor has recently discovered that those artists exist. And they made a lot of good songs when he was 3 years old. He's really into it. Thought he found an absolute gem when it came to 50 Cent, Many Men. You ever heard this song? Yes, I did, Reynor. And he's like, what about In the Club? Yes, Reynor. That song too. They're pretty well known. ZVZ is obviously a very brutal matchup where there are a couple of builds that the pros will tell you absolutely hard counter one another, and that if you go for certain greedy openings and you can get away with it because your opponent did not commit any pressure and didn't send it, you can be in a lot of trouble. So it will be interesting to see when they fire up link speed, if they fire up link speed. Someone going to skip Baneling Nest, yes or no? Serral is the first one that has access to 100 gas to queue up Zergling speed. Candy Shop is a classic as well. Reynor only has 2 drones on his extractor, so he's obviously going to have much later access to that Zergling speed. Serral is going to go ahead and send out a drone already. Feels that this is the time to go up to 3 bases. I wonder if Reynor saw 8 Mile actually. 8 Mile is a good movie. I honestly think that was a pretty good movie. Got me fired up. Everybody in the 3-1-3. Put your motherfucking hands up and follow me. I can see Reynor in Katowice if he wins the tournament. Standing on stage. There won't be a speech about the normal man. It will just be Reynor thinking that he's Eminem. He's gonna grab that mic from Rachel and he's like, everybody in Kato, put your motherfucking hands up and follow me. The scenes, guys, the scenes. Maybe you should be hoping for a Reynor championship. Renegade Eminem. That one was good. You know which song I really liked? I think it was called Rabbit Run. I believe that was from 8 Mile as well. It's just like a tiny intro and then it's like 3.5 minutes of Eminem spitting fire, baby. Those days I really liked them. I think it's called Rabbit Run, right? I think that's a very good song of that movie. Anyway, enough about Eminem and 50 Cent. Reynor is jamming. Reynor needs to be jamming if he wants to bring the heat to Serral in this series. Serral has looked magnificent in the playoffs so far. A 3-0 into another 3-0. Taking out Solar in the opening round. Taking out Maru in the second round. He is on point. So definitely very different openings here, right? Where Reynor is going to stay on 2 bases for a little while longer. Serral is on 3 bases. Serral is queuing up a lot of links, and it seems that Serral is going to try to be the one that will strike first in this series. Reynor is just going to try to get as many roaches out as possible. Very quick +1 missile attacks. And I think Serral is going to attack Reynor with a lot of links, maybe a couple of Ravages, and obviously a decent amount of roaches too. Serral does not want to do that. He should tech up real soon, because his tech is going to be a whole lot later than Reynor's. Serral is sending a lot of units through the bottom right. Does he have a drone in the mix with that army, guys? Because how is it? Like, Serral has so many links, and he's actually going to be able to get through because Serral did have a drone mine out these minerals. That's kind of cool, but doesn't really do a whole lot. I mean, big brain gaming here, perhaps by Yona. But I still think that +1 missile attacks is going to finish up. These links won't enter the natural. I think it's not all that bad so far for Reynor. Is that now a full wall off? Uh-oh. That could be problematic, no? Mate, Reynor's even building a drone? Like, Reynor should not be building any drones. Reynor needs to build roaches. A crazy amount of roaches. That is a full wall off. Can Serral just collapse right now on Reynor's army at the 3rd? Last time I checked, you do not have Rico as a Zerg player. Reynor needs to kill that Evo. Reynor has now successfully killed that Evo. And Serral says, well, I'm not going to wait for those extra units to show up. He is just going to go for it. Those corrosive balls do connect with the roaches in a big way. And all the links of Serral are going to get a surround on the roaches of Reynor. More corrosive balls are connecting. And Reynor is already shaking his head, knowing that that was a bit too much. Those link surrounds were too good. Those corrosive balls were too good. And I have the feeling that Serral is going to get the job done here as he surrounds more units on the ramp. And he's going to fire a couple of corrosive balls this time around on the X. And just like that, it is the Finnish Phenom who is going to strike first. A lot of links, a lot of Ravages. Completely sending it to the other side of the map. Felt that Reynor could have potentially held that. If he maybe would have had his units in a slightly better position. If he would have taken out that Evo chamber a little bit earlier. Yeah, the roaches that all got surrounded immediately at the 3rd, they had nowhere to go. Obviously, the link count was crazy freaking high. Maybe if Reynor would have found resources to get a couple of banelings. Like, you don't even need a lot of banelings, but just having a few. Even though Serral obviously does have +1 carapace, and that is important to keep in mind. They would survive a baneling hit, but they would survive it with like 1 HP. Serral draws first blood in a very short and straightforward game on El Cyone. Cool idea, by the way, by mining out those minerals on Reynor's side of the map. Haven't really seen that come into play yet in ZVZ. But in the end, I don't think that was the decider. That is correct, LTU Hunter, but we just mentioned it, so yeah. I have absolutely mentioned it. I believe that Reynor is not allowed to play Protoss here. WTL is not run by ESL. It's independent, right? This is a Chinese company. They have their own tournament series, and because they have their own series, then there are no EPT points on the line. They can make their own rules. ESL allows Reynor to play some Zerg, some Protoss, some Zerg, some Protoss within the same best of 5 or best of 7. I believe these guys do not allow him, unless they have changed the rules, but last time that was not the case. You start with Zerg, you have to end with Zerg. Top right side of Solaris, the man who has taken the 1-0 lead, that was BASILISK Serral. And in the bottom left side, the man who's jamming a little less, maybe listening to that yellow brick road right now. Also representing BASILISK, the Italian stallion, it is Reynor. Yep. The last time he was not allowed, as I said that. But it wouldn't be the first time ever that rules change mid-tournament when it comes to Chinese tournament organizers. I once got eliminated from a LAN tournament in China because somebody did not want to play a regame with me. Even though the rules specifically stated that I deserved regames, the regames were not played. I just got kicked out. Life was rough in 2006. Travel from RotterdaM to Beijing to then get eliminated, even though the rules said I was not eliminated. A bitter pill to swallow. So it wouldn't be the first time ever that rules changed in the middle of a tourney, but I don't expect that to be the case here. I wonder if you could enter the tourney as random? Absolutely. Like, Reynor would also be allowed to pick Terran, random, or Protoss here. It's just that they say if you start the best of 7 with that, you have to finish the best of 7 with that. So if he would have played random in game 1, he'd have to play random in every single game. I personally think they should allow it. I am a much bigger fan of the ESL rules. If Reynor has the skill to play Protoss against Serral on maps that are good for Protoss, I would love to see it, and I would love to see him be rewarded for having that skill. Because obviously if Serral would have that skill, he could do the same thing. So I personally don't see why you would force somebody to stay with one race. And yes, of course, a player that can play 2 races or all 3 races at a high level would have an advantage when it comes to vetoing maps and picking maps. But guess what? You kind of deserve that if you are that freaking good. Because races obviously have pretty big advantages on some maps. But it's still so incredibly hard to beat the very best video gamers in the planet. With any race. And especially with a race that's not your main race. So I don't see how you should ever get punished for that. I think you should get rewarded for that. But it's their tournament, their rules. And I'm also okay with that. I'm just happy that we got this tournament. You would love to see Clem Reynor PvP? I've seen it a couple of times. Well, we can alternate that, right? Anil B. I mean, ESL is very simple. They just say that as long as you can swap the race in the countdown, you can swap the race. And if there is a world where, let's say, Reynor wants to play Protoss and then Serral wants to play Terra, but then Reynor wants to play Zerg again, even though that would never matter. Because Reynor would gladly play with his Protoss against any off-race of Serral. Then it would just come down to who selects what in the countdown. And then both play. Then it's like a game of chicken. But then I think you should just go back to Zerg. But that's not a thing in StarCraft. Because people don't have off-race that is that freaking good. Reynor is an outlier. He is legitimately the only one. And please do not bring up Scarlet's win over Dongregua. Because if that happens again, I'm gonna rip the last 7 remaining hairs out. Clem is very good with Protoss too, yeah? That is correct. But not that good. Not that good that he would pick Protoss on Ratu set against Serral. Clem is very... I mean, Clem is just very talented, right? It is amazing. Anyway, let's take a little look at these 2 build orders as we are 4.5 minutes into Solaris. Shout out to Colaris, who is going to be your host at the Intel Extreme Masters Katowice. Reynor says, hey Serral, pretty cool build. Would it be fun if I would do something a bit similar? Now obviously it is very different because Reynor does not have any roaches or any ravages yet. But Reynor is making a lot of lings and those lings are going to have carapace. And that's going to make them pretty good against roaches. I don't think Serral knows. Well, there are a couple of roaches in the mix for Reynor as well. But Reynor is going to fire up the lair now. Both of them, to the appeal of slowly falling, working with 44 drones at the moment. Just a couple of goats going up to 44 workers before thinking of adding a few extra. Reynor is trying to see if there is a little opening to be found with all the links that he made. So far, the answer to that question is no. Hello, Benny. Look at Kalaris. Look at Kalaris and Demo, guys, in the chat. I didn't think that those guys had any passion left, but here they are. Kidding. They're always here, actually. I feel like Loki, Kalaris, and Ben are like two of my most loyal viewers. I actually don't have a job, guys. I just have a lot of friends that support me. That's all. That's how I make a living. How was the birthday, by the way, Benny? Was it good? Did you have a fun day, matey? I don't think there is any room for spies yet. There could, of course, always be spies a little bit later. But I think right now, we are just looking at two big old armies looking at one another. I think Serral has more than enough defensive units here, but maybe Reynor is trying to make some magic happen with a big old circling run by. But as you guys can see, there is a roach on hold position. I don't think that there is too much that Reynor can do here. Reynor is going to try, as he now has all of the extra links show up, and immediately Serral is going to bring those units from that choke point. Look at them ravages of Reynor. They are landing some absolutely fantastic shots. And Serral had a big old army, but he definitely took a lot of damage from these ravages. But now there is not a whole lot left to tank. Reynor needs a couple of extra units to show up so he can start tanking these roaches of Serral that are chasing down his own units. It's an awfully close fight in the end. But obviously, what Reynor does not have, guys, is a roach speed. And that is something that Serral does have. And I thought Reynor started up a lair, but I don't know if that was a fake lair and he cancelled it. Because obviously, if there is no lair, then Reynor is probably going to have to continue attacking. Serral is now also very close to getting +2 missile attacks. And if that kicks in, then Reynor's Zerglings are just going to absolutely melt. So Reynor is going to full send it one more time. And that will probably determine the outcome of this game. Since he is not getting any additional upgrades. This is kind of it, guys. Now or never for Reynor, as Serral is trying to maybe flank some of the ravages. A lot of links run into the main base, by the way. Oh, this is going to be annoying for Serral to deal with. Obviously, drones could be in a bit of trouble. He's mostly focused on not losing the third hatch. Has bought time for himself. +2 missile attacks is done. Reynor with a full surround right now on the lair. Is there a world where he can kill this lair? I don't think so. There is a big roach fight still happening. Reynor really wants that lair, but he's not going to get it. Serral split off the right amount of units, but more links run into the natural now, so a couple of additional drones will fall. It is -10 workers so far for the man who does have the attack advantage and does have +2 missile attacks. I think I still like it for Serral, guys, all things considered. That got hectic, that got chaotic, but now Reynor made a mistake with his ravages, and it allows Serral to pounce on them. He does have a good little surround with a couple of his leftover links. I think Reynor is in trouble. No roach speed, no lair, no +2 missile attacks. I don't know how Serral managed all of that so well. It felt like it was so easy to fall apart there. And either send too few units or too many units to deal with a run-by. But Serral found just the right amount of roaches to send back. Did a good job in keeping his drone safe. And now immediately he says, alright, now it's my time. I've got roach speed. You don't. I've got +2 missile attacks. You don't have any missile attacks, and just like that, after 9 minutes and 8 seconds, it is the Finnish Phenom who takes a 2-0 lead, as he is now on a 8-0 streak in the playoffs of the Masters Coliseum so far. What an absolute animal, guys. Casual 8-0 in the playoffs. Shout out to Basilisk, who's gonna give us 10 subs. Let's go. Vamos! Any names that I recognize? Actually, quite a few. There are so many names that I recognize. What the hell? Mandragora, Kratos, Shy Guy, Tinker, my man Mike, something, Vestrutsky, and Sturmgod. I met like half of these people in real life. As I said, guys, I actually have no fans on the internet. I only have friends that I've met in real life. I know all of these guys. Some of them are family related. I see a cousin in there. An uncle. An auntie. Seems like Reynor have bad ping. Reynor does not have bad ping on Europe. There is a good chance that Serral's ping is a tiny bit better, but that is so small, so narrow, that it's absolutely not worth mentioning ever. They both play on the European server, and that is not a difference here, mate. I don't know if you're trying to troll or whatever, but some people might take it serious. No, they should both have close to no delay at all. Round 3 of the upper bracket final between the two animals of Basilisk. In the top left side, I think we took a little look at the main base of the man who's taking a quick 2-0 lead. Basilisk Serral. In the bottom right side, the man who's down 0-2 got very close in that previous game. Honestly, was somewhat close in that first game as well. That doesn't change the current reality of the 0-2 scoreline. Basilisk Reynor. Rodriguez. That's actually one of my classmates of high school. Thank you so much, mate, for the 11 months. I'm kidding. I don't think I went to high school with Rodriguez. We did have one of the other guys that I went to high school with show up in my chat the other day. Many years ago, he heard that I was a streamer. He stopped by once, and then, like, we were friendly with each other, but not really like friends. Now all of a sudden, he stopped by again for the first time in like 6 years. I was like, that's always cool. 20 years ago that I was in a class with that dude. I hope Roddy's mom is watching. I don't think my mom is watching. My mom doesn't really watch my Twitch, but she does follow me and she likes to see the alerts, because then she knows that I am alive and she doesn't have to worry about me. So if she doesn't get a notification from Twitch for like 2 or 3 days, then she will check in. Like, hey, no stream? Question mark. Are you okay? Yes, Mom, I'm okay. She's not actually interested in watching the video games. You're a mom and you're watching? Well, I believe some moms are watching me right now. There's a good chance there are many, because, let's be honest, guys. 36, but still got it right. I'm kidding. But not my mom. My mom does not watch some ZVZ. But I'm sure there are a couple of moms out there, and I'm very happy that you guys are. I hope it's fun. Both of them going up to 3 bases with Zergling speed on the way. Baneling Nest has gone down at a pretty much identical moment. So I don't think they could have mirrored each other anymore if they tried so far. I think Zergling speed is about to finish up within seconds from each other as well. So for the first time, they truly have a similar opening. If you're not a ZVZ expert, you may look at these games and you're like, ah, it looked kind of the same what they were doing, right? Because they both built a lot of links, roaches, ravages. Obviously, they took very different routes of getting there. One went for carapace, the other one for missile attacks. One game we had somebody skip Zergling speed, the other one went for a lot of links. This truly is by far and away the biggest mirror so far, where they are doing the exact same thing. And now it will come down to who wants to make a lot of links. Who can out-micro the other guy with Lings and Banes if we make a bunch of them? Who is going to drop a Roach Warren first? Who is going to tack up? I know there are plenty of dads watching, mate. Even my boy Benny Demo in the chat. He's a dad gamer. But he still got it too. Not in the looks, but when it comes to the skills, I'm gonna watch that Ben VOD of this morning. My boy Ben played some StarCraft, guys. I wanna see it. There's nothing that I love more than watching Demo play some games. I miss it every day. We went over that not too long ago. My name is James, and we actually have a crazy amount of older people watching me. Obviously, we'll have some youngsters too, right? I think the average age, legitimately in the high 20s, which I think is somewhat unique for a Twitch channel. But Mm. Mm. Now everybody's gonna let us know how old they are. Oliver is 44. Goated. Who's 33, guys? Somebody must be 33. I miss the days that I was 33. Wing, and you're 19, mate. We have a spike crawler going down on the side of Serral as he fires up a layer. Reynor is faking the aggression here, guys. Reynor is not actually committing. Reynor just wants to make Serral believe that he's committing. So don't worry, we're not missing anything too big. Now, there are a couple of links, and if there is an opening, Reynor will obviously always go for it. Needs to make sure that he doesn't throw away too many units. I mean, he's going to send the roaches back, and in the end, he gets 2 drones, bit of lost mining time, and a scout, obviously. Don't know if he got that queen in the natural or not. You don't think that's too unique? I feel like most channels, your higher 20s is average. Alright, if you say so. I would not have guessed that. I think it comes down to the game. Maybe on StarCraft. Banelinks, by the way, are going to blow up the drones right now. Top right side of your screen. The observer actually sees it. Reynor sort of sees it, but a little bit late. Like a second or two later than he wished he would have saw it. 5 drones is not devastating amounts of damage, but it's obviously kind of annoying. And Reynor says, alright, it is time for Serral's favorite unit. In Dutch there is a saying that goes, van je vrienden moet je het hebben. Maybe that sounds very funny to you guys. And Reynor is gonna give Serral a little bit of Muda action here. And Serral is queuing up, I think, some Bane drops and a Roach drop at the same time. And is already dropping the Hydra then. Even though I don't think he's even scouted this yet. The spidey senses are tingling. Serral has been betrayed before by a Zerg brother. Oh, he cancels it. Okay, he's actually going to be kind of sad about that. Now he rebuilds it elsewhere. Not sure what that is about. Maybe it got scouted, but that doesn't make any sense to me. That's very funny, OR. YouTube StarCraft viewership is very funny. Because they just kind of live in their own little circle and they've never opened Twitch. When they announced the StarCraft cast, some people are like, who is Zombie Grub? I was like, well, he's kind of been doing this for a while, mate. One would say that he's somewhat of a prominent figure, but...
Where is Winter Gaming and Loco? Those are the guys that I watch.
YouTube is special, man. Obviously, overall, pretty decent defense there by Reynor, but he got the heads up that it was happening. Only 3 drones ended up dying. Serral is not going to reveal those roaches just yet. He's now going to be forced to build some Hydras. The good news, though, for Serral and all the Serral fans out there is that this is an 8-minute game where the Mutas don't show up mega early, and this is also a map where creep is very easy to connect to extra bases. And when you go up against Mutalisk, what you hate is to be a 3-base Zerg that's gonna have to sit there and defend against Mutas. Once you're a 4-base Zerg, like, you're not that worried about a couple of Mutas being annoying. Reynor obviously knows that all-out Muta is probably not the play here. That it will be too easy for Serral to stabilize on 4 bases, get Hydras out, get Infestors out, maybe even Vipers down the line. So Reynor is mostly focusing on his own Roaches and Ravages, as Serral is going to reveal his tiny Roach drop in the main, and he's going to snipe a Queen. I love how Reynor still drops 1 Creep Tumor before the Queen is going to die. Creep Tumor will actually live. Nice tiny move here by Serral, but it obviously won't do a whole lot for him. This is most likely going to turn into a good old Lurker Viper war. It's very hard to kill anybody on Golden Aura. And obviously in a ZVZ as well, when you're working with close to the same units. Like, Reynor is really going to try. There's a lot of forces right now trying to pounce on the 4th base of Serral, but it's so difficult to be aggressive on this map. So damn difficult. Reynor is obviously the one with map vision. He's going to fire up a hive too, because the Mutalisk have cleared out most of the Overlords in the center. Serral is not impressed, and he even just drops the 5th base underneath the Mutas. This is not quite a fight, by the way, for Serral, as Reynor had now his entire army here. It's a beautiful rotation of the main forces and the secondary squad of Reynor to all sync up at a perfect time. But it doesn't really take Serral very long to bring over his main units. So Serral is now chasing with Hydras. It's a little bit risky. Maybe Reynor is just happy for as long as he can keep Serral on 4 bases. So far he's done a very good job in that. Reynor has an Overseer here. Otherwise this could have been terrifying. Taking the gold in the bottom left. It's going to take a little while before it's saturated and up and running. Reynor is really flexing that multitasking muscle right now, and he's trying to put all that speed we know the youngster has to good use. So far, Serral is doing his best job to just be an anime hero. He's kind of deflecting everything without really breaking a sweat. I'm sure he's stressing a little, as Reynor is chasing that Overseer. Gets it, but loses every single Mutalisk. I'm not sure if that was the best way ever to use your Mutas, but he is now, oh my goodness, that is after sniping it. I mean, he doesn't quite get the full one burrow, but that would have been amazing. Oh man, just a little bit deeper, and that would have actually been the sexiest Zerg fight we've seen in years. After sniping that Overseer while losing the Mutas, but getting it done. Oh, that could have been one of the coolest plays ever if that would have worked. Unfortunately, it didn't totally work, but Serral is maybe now feeling it a little, right? He knows that he's still chilling on the 4 bases, but going up to 5 is going to be a bit harder. Reynor is the first one to drop a Nidus network. As the RotterdaM is doing its thing for both sides. The seismic spine's on the way. Reynor is going to commit to this fight. He likes what he sees. Serral, I think, well, split off a lot of units, and that's why Serral's having somewhat of a difficult time defending here. These two are really going to drive each other crazy at this point. So many units in production. An easy snipe on that hatchery for Serral, but there were no drones there, I believe. Reynor is not too bothered losing the Evo chambers, though. That could suck. +3 carapace gets denied. +3 missile attacks is most likely going to get denied as well. No. Serral does not commit. A little bit lucky for Reynor that he lost carapace there instead of missile attacks. I don't think Serral knows about the bottom left. He may be suspecting it after he saw that triangle had no drones at all, and Reynor didn't really bother in keeping it alive. Reynor has the Nidus, I think, right? If Reynor can get a Nidus up in the main base of Serral and get a couple lurkers out with seismic spines and adaptive talents, as both players are working on that, that could be a game-deciding move. I think that he's joking, JJ. He's probably joking under the assumption that Serral is incredibly good. I'm getting distracted. Just when I focus on the game for a little while. I pan back over to Twitch chat to see if you guys are behaving, and well, it's not too bad yet, but it's not great either. Lurkers of Serral now on the other side of the map. This is where Reynor needs to be incredibly cautious. Running into Lurkers is so hard. Serral had a couple of Vipers finish up. I don't know if Reynor has any Vipers, and Reynor's honestly having a hard time right now because there is a couple of leftover units in the main that are keeping him busy. There is a Lurker in the bottom left side that is being a nuisance, making it very hard for him to get any value out of that gold. Serral's is playing incredibly good. Kind of liked how this game was going for a while for Reynor, and it felt that the speed and the multitasking was there, but it's just Serral does not crumble at all. No matter what you throw at him, he just seems to have an answer for every single thing that you bring. And now he is the first one to show up with Vipers, and he's going to abduct a bunch of the Lurkers of Reynor. And all of a sudden you ask yourself, how is Reynor going to successfully clean this up? And after losing the triangle earlier and then losing the gold base in the bottom left side, if you lose this base as well at 6, what on earth are you going to do? Meanwhile, Serral is chilling on 5 bases. Oh, Reynor is now attacking his own hatchery. Reynor is attacking his own hatchery. Reynor is attacking his own hatchery for way too long. And he almost killed it as he tried to kill that Lurker. Obviously, even if you don't kill it, that is very bad, because now Serral can just move a couple of units around, and that hatch is one volley away from dying. There are a couple of burrowed roaches, I believe, in the natural of Serral, trying to distract the Finnish Phenom, but Yona just seems kind of untouchable and invincible at the moment. Felt that some things went Reynor's way, felt that the ability to play a nice game was there, but in the end, this is Serral's world and we're all just living in it. Haven't seen a single Viper yet of Reynor. And obviously those Vipers were massive, landing abduct after abduct. Making it so easy for Serral to get on top of one of these bases. Yeah, so GG is just going to get called. Reynor knows that he is too far behind. In a game where at one point he definitely was up. He had a bigger bank, he had map control, he had vision, he was ahead in tech. But he could not break Serral. And the first time that Serral had the units he was dreaming of, he said, alright, now it's my time to have some fun and run to the other side of the map. And the game just ended immediately. As apparently somebody within Basilisk is incredibly biased towards Serral. I don't know who that is, but thank you so much for the gifted subs. That is awesome. I see Monty in there and Dr. Henry. 3-0, guys. A 3-0. And Serral is on an absolute streak in these playoffs. 3-0 against Solar. 3-0 against Maru. And now a 3-0 lead over Reynor. But this is a best of 7, so we are not done yet. Sweet baby Jesus. Serral means business. Hear me out, guys. I think in game 4, what Reynor should do is hit him with the good luck have fun buddy. I think that's what we need to do here. Reynor's gonna close the camera. I don't know if he's gonna keep it closed. Maybe he will say like, it's annoying me. I've got lag. That guy in the chat was right, my ping is high. I don't know how good Reynor's PC is, but I feel like it's been a while since he got a new one. Now, a lot of people out there believe that you don't need a computer all that good to play StarCraft, but I kind of think you do. And especially if they make you run other programs too. Thank you to Clava for the 23 months. I know that Reynor did not travel with his computer. I know where it is. I still have Reynor's trophy, by the way. I have a Home Story Cup trophy, guys. I'm the champ, baby. Home Story Cup 23 belongs to Roddy. Where is Reynor? Reynor is currently in Italy. He is going to stay in Italy until everybody travels to Poland in less than 2 weeks from now. And he's over at his grandma's house. Because he believes that he plays his very best video games from grandma's house. Must be grandma's cooking. Yes, a big game too easy. But you're also bad and dumb, so you wouldn't notice. And people that play this game for a living and that need a good performance, they do notice. You've been very annoying, mate. And I know that you've been trying to be very annoying for a long time right now. And, okay. But that's just not correct. If I notice it, and I am not even the very best gamer out there, especially if you're streaming, obviously, but even if you're not streaming. I have received, I had PCs in the past, I've had very high-end laptops in the past, they were all configured perfectly. Once you start playing late game PvZ, people who say you don't need good this or good that, the drop in FPS is ultra annoying to deal with if you're actually a high level gamer. Obviously if you're very casual and you're controlling a co-op hero, you won't notice. I can guarantee you, mate, that having a very good computer does matter in StarCraft. Running it is easy. Running it, I'm not saying well, but I'm saying perfectly. But a stable high FPS is not easy. I've played on many PCs obviously over the years. And even in some tournaments where I sat down like, what the hell, is this how you're playing? They're like, yeah, this is the best we can do. And I was like, what? This feels awful. Only over the last few years it hasn't been that big of an issue because now the game is obviously proper old. But honestly, in the first 4 or 5 years, I even felt sometimes when you went to LAN events, the PCs that you play StarCraft on, they were far from perfect. And I can guarantee you that almost every pro has a story out there where they went to a place where They said the computers were good, and they really weren't all that good. Mostly noticed it in the Zerg matchups. In the other ones, not so bad, but especially Creep takes a lot of CPU usage, or late game Z, like late game Z anything with all the larvae moving around and the corrupted tails wiggling, and then a lot of active Creep tumors. It's actually very intense on a PC, and you need a proper good PC to make sure you don't have a massive drop in performance. Round 4, guys, of the upper bracket final. Top right side of Hecate, we are looking in the main base of the man who's down 0-3. It is BASILISK Reynor. Maybe has taken a little moment. Can he turn things around? Against the Finnish Phenom, who just seems to be invincible and untouchable in these playoffs so far of the Master Coliseum. This is Serral. 3-0, 3-0, 3-0. 9 in a row, guys. Pretty sweet run for Serral. Maybe he saw Clem get a little bit closer in the Legalag rankings. And he's like, you know what would be very good for my points right now? Just win like 9 or 10 games in a row in the playoffs. Then I'll stay first, right? Like, yes. He'll definitely stay first. I'm sure he did, Von. Everybody does. I don't think there is a single pro out there that never looks at a Legalag. Pros in general are very well aware of like who they play a lot, who their rivals are, who their nemesis are. Like they may not look at it every single day, but I can guarantee you that Serral takes a look at a Legalag. It also really helps in prepping for a tournament, right? Let's say Reynor has to play against Hero, right? In the Intel Extreme Masters. Then it makes sense for Reynor to open a Legalag, click on Hero, and see Hero's most recent ZVPs. And then he will see who Hero played, and then he can also figure out where to watch those games, because obviously Reynor will know where to watch those games. So in that way, using a Legalag also really helps pro gamers to get ready for tournaments. Has Serral ever been dethroned on a Legalag before? Yeah, I'm sure that has happened. I think they have stats as well, keeping track of how long somebody has been first and what their highest peak ever is, etc. So, for sure he has been dethroned. Some animal cruelty over here in the center of Hecate. Reynor wants blood, and if it can't be Serral, then let it be something that looks like a buffalo, but I know it's not a buffalo. I don't know what the name of that creature is. Both players opening up once more in a pretty similar way. 3 bases in a horizontal manner. Nobody's taking the triangle here. No real signs of any committed aggression yet. Serral is the first to fire up 12 links. By the way, this is one of these games where Serral is the blue Zerg on the top side of the scoreboard and the top side of the production tab, but he's on the bottom side of the map, so keep an eye on that. It is very easy to confuse the numbers. But Serral is on the top side of all the production tabs, and the numbers in the bottom side. Top is Serral, bottom is Reynor, but Reynor is actually spawning at the top side of the map. So his lings are gonna get a decent amount of damage on this hatch, but I don't think you're ever gonna kill it, especially not with that many banelings nearby. Serral tried a little old school ZVZ trick, distracting Reynor with those lings and then trying to run 2 banelings into the natural. But Reynor, his overlords were well positioned, and he got the heads up that this is happening. Reynor also trying to get a tiny bit of scouting info on the other side of the map, but it seems difficult. Reynor dropped the Roach War, and Serral was there immediately to see it. That Ling basically saw that Roach War being planted down. I hear more banelings finishing up. Neither player so far has dared to fire up a lair. Reynor is working with a tiny drone advantage. He is up 4 workers. Serral's building a decent amount of Banes. Definitely not a super committed attack, but I think he's just trying to test the waters here and see if he can find some success with his Lings and his Banelings. And Reynor is actually starting to run out of Banelings. Serral had a few more, so Serral's going to get the first good connection on the Lings there as well. He's going to grab a Queen. Reynor, his roaches are starting to spawn, but are they out in time? Well, definitely not to save everything here, but if it's only 3 drones and a Queen, I don't hate it that much for Reynor, to be fair. That looked like it was going to be worse for a little bit. I wonder if maybe Serral at one point when he had a big Bane advantage, if he should have gone for the natural. Because there was way more stuff to kill in the natural than there was in the third. But it's okay. So, Reynor survives. While he was working with a tiny work lead for a while, has now a run by as those roaches were not on hold position. So this is going to be rather annoying. Gets a perfect scout on the timing of the lair. Well, not totally perfect, but almost perfect. Kills a drone. Good defense, obviously, by Serral. Reynor tried to hide a couple of Zerglings in the corner of the main base of Serral, but Serral was all over that as well. So those Lings won't morph into Banes. Overall, I don't hate this start for Reynor. I kind of like it. As a tiny supply lead is catching up in the drone department again, but he obviously made a few more roaches. And he's got pretty damn quick missile attacks. Especially compared to Serral. So while Serral invested a lot of that gas into a couple of extra Banelings trying to make some magic happen on the top side of the map, it's Reynor who prioritized getting quick upgrades. And that is something he should be able to work with. Just like in game 3, we are going to see a Spire. This time around it is Serral who drops the Spire first. Yona, guys, going for the Spire. Reynor has not scouted that yet. I don't really see Reynor drop those blind Hydralisk dens very often. And Reynor just absolutely sends it with a million roaches. If he does it in the near future, it's absolutely going to work. If he wants to wait for +2 missile attacks, then I'm afraid that Reynor is going to miss his window. And I do think Serral is going to get Middle-isk out. And the game is going to be a bit awkward. I think 1 drone died against that Ling run by. But the counter on the left side only shows up if you lose 2 or more drones. Seven meters in the way as Reynor does have his first Hydralisk fired up. I was chuckling at somebody in Twitch chat writing, wasn't Serral the first non-Korean to win that thing he won? I forget what it was. And then it just falls off the face of the earth. Top like 8 or so. Serral, guys, the guy who won 1 tournament and just completely fell off. That's Serral, right? That sounds like a really good description of Serral. It's nice that he had a bit of success in 2018, you know. He won that one thing. Forgot the name of it, but it's a shame that after that he just wasn't the same, man. Oh. Cool. The first Mutas of Yona show up. Nice Mutalist micro, by the way. Saves both of those very low HP Muta. One against the Queen that was attacking it, and the other one against a Spore Crawler. But now they do seem kind of stocky. Obviously, he hasn't made too many. What is fun is to see that Serral is making a lot of Banelings, guys. This is worth mentioning. Wow, okay. This is gonna be a very weird fight. It would actually be freaking amazing for Reynor if he would have a couple of Banelings on his own. But obviously, why would Reynor normally have Banelings here? That doesn't make any sense. But I think if Reynor would have a couple of Banelings himself, he'd be loving life, and that would be absolutely fantastic for him. Now, of course, if he can get Lurkers out, that would also be fantastic. But Serral is not going to make it that easy. Here comes the Finnish Phenom once more with a crazy amount of roaches and a crazy amount of Banelings that are now trying to connect with the Hydras. And obviously, the more that those units are running, the less that they are shooting. It is just a never-ending string of Banelings coming in, and Serral is actually going to break Reynor here. As Reynor shakes his head and he's like, WTF, mate, what the hell was that? Why would you show up with 45 banelings while also showing up with that many roaches? And Serral just does Serral things. The man is just monster moding, man. It's crazy. Reynor not totally down and out just yet, but it is really starting to look like this best of 7 will go to the man who just completely fell off the face of the earth after he won that one thing that we forgot the name about. Maybe he's back? Is he back? Does he still have it? That Finnish guy. Completely forgot about him after his 2018 one-day success. Crazy. 3-0 against Solar in the quarterfinals of the upper bracket. 3-0 against Maru in the semifinals of the upper bracket. And it is starting to look like we're going to get a 4-0 here in the upper bracket finals against his teammate. Reynor does sneak out a Lurker. And obviously Lurkers are amazing units to stabilize. Serral's Hive is very late. Maybe, guys. Maybe, baby. Reynor can just kind of hang in there. He is down 12 workers. I mean, it's not like Reynor has Hive Tech yet, right? I was looking at that thing and I was like, is that a Hive? But Lair Tech Lurkers are breakable and are just overall not that fantastic. A lot of Zergs will tell you that as long as you have Ravages and you have Vision, you don't have to worry all that much about the Lair Tech Lurker. Lurkers, of course, have 2 upgrades, a Seismic Spines, aka the range upgrade, and Adaptive Talents, which is the speed upgrade. And you need Hive Tech to unlock those and make your units very good. So good that a man who played Terran for many years can all of a sudden say, fuck it, I'm gonna build some elephants. The Lair Tech Lurker would never accomplish that. But the Hive Tech Lurker, they have sent a Terran nerd or 2 into retirement. Serral is just gonna run up this ramp and take out the first Lurker of Reynor. There is a Spore Crawler there that is doing a lot of damage to one of those Overseers, but Serral wouldn't be Serral if he didn't have the backup Overseer. I can think of a whole bunch of them, Jesse. The Lurker got the best of many. I am sure a keyboard or 2 has fallen to the Lurker. I'm glad that Lurkers were not a thing in 2010 or 2011, because I would have probably been a very angry video gamer. By the time that they introduced Lurkers to StarCraft 2, I was already pretty chill. I realized that I was not going to be a world champ, and that it's better for me to just enjoy the game, have fun, do my best, and take it from there. I used to get very angry over roaches, guys. And also Marines and Marauders. In my early days. Whew. What is the upgrade situation? They are both working on +3 missile attacks. I mean, Serral is in a very good spot still, but obviously Reynor has survived what looked like could have been a game-ending moment, and I think Serral was very close to breaking him. I think overall Serral still likes where this game is going. Reynor is the first one, though, to queue up a Viper by the looks of it. That is big. How old are you? I am 36. And I started playing StarCraft when I was 22, I guess. 21, 22. I was pretty angry in my early days. Not mega angry, but little angry. I'll never forget the day that I was whining in a ladder game against Dimaga. And he was very nice. He just told me what I did wrong. And then I backfired. He was like, no, that doesn't work. We're gonna do it. And then Dimaga responded with a smiley face and he said, okay, you are right. And at that point, I felt like a fucking fool. Because I knew I was complaining to a guy that was way better in the video game than I was. He tried to help me. And I was moaning. And then he just hit me with the, sure, you are right, smiley face. And I was like, oh my god. I know that he means that I'm not right. As Reynor is going to shove a whole bunch of Roaches, Ravages, and Hydras on this ramp, but not really the fight. We do have a Lurker, or Nidus Network, though, coming online in the main. Can Reynor unload a bunch of Lurkers? The answer to the question is yes. Now, there are Vipers here, and Vipers can obviously abduct. But Reynor strikes back, and Reynor says there is life in the young dog yet. He's actually starting to find some success here and there, but In the end, Serral's defense so good in the main. These roaches and Ravagers not finding a crazy amount of value yet either. I mean, I feel like a lesser Zerg would have absolutely struggled cleaning all of that up. But Serral is no lesser Zerg, especially not in these playoffs so far of the Masters Coliseum. Insanely good blinding clouds there though by Reynor. Ah, Reynor is battling, and he's gonna get his hands on the top left side base as well. This one is not quite done and dusted just yet. There's one more random stray lurker, just kind of distracting Serral as Reynor really feels that this is the ramp to get up to. I don't know about that. It seems incredibly difficult to get up that ramp. Not a Nidus attempt in the main. That one gets denied. Serral's supply has definitely dipped a few times, and that piggy bank that he was working with has been completely drained. Reynor kind of just throwing the kitchen sink at him all out of nowhere. As a boxer who took it easy in rounds 3, 4, 5, and 6, but suddenly comes back swinging in 7 and 8. Good to see. Will it be good enough? In the group stage, they played on Hecate. They had a proper Lurker Viper game against each other, and Serral just looked a little bit better. Serral just got the best of Reynor in a lot of these Viper wars. More Vipers are better. I don't know if there is ever such a thing as too many Vipers in a ZVZ like this, and obviously there is, but I think you can safely, if you have the money for it, go up to like 8 or 9. And I know that sounds insane, but Zerg does not have goals. Oh, Reynor goes for a Lurker run by, but his Lurkers take a lot of damage. As he also gets absolutely obliterated over here by Hydras and Lurkers. I don't know about this. Reynor thought that that was the move, to just YOLO a bunch of Lurkers into the natural, but oh no. His Vipers actually going a bit far forward as well. I did not like that for Reynor, guys. In the end, he does get 5 Lurkers in the middle of all these bases. Serral is attacking the triangle base of Reynor, by the way. The WTL observer is not aware of this at all. He's just like, man, Reynor is doing so good. Serral can sort of defend, but not really. Meanwhile, Serral is attacking the third of Reynor, and I have the feeling he's finding some good success there. Yeah. I mean, there is nothing here for Reynor, so yes. Serral's finding a lot of success over here. Reynor is going to send more roaches over, as Serral's going to just get some value out of those Vipers. He's going to land a few abducts. Another Nidus attempt in the main, as Reynor's supply has dipped to 150. Serral is rebuilding drones, actually. So many fights happening. I mean, these guys are gaming with a capital G. Just the way that I love it. Reynor now fires up 5 Vipers at once. Ooh, Serral with a mistake, guys. The man is human. And he does make a few mistakes. A tiny misclick there, the pathing, getting the best of his roaches and Ravagers. So Reynor finds a few free units in the center. And now actually finds that hatchery as well. Yeah, Serral shakes his head and he's like, damn it, if I wouldn't have lost those Ravagers, I probably could have bought some time. And then maybe I could have saved that hatch. Unfortunate 25 seconds there for Serral. Reynor hanging in there like an absolute champ, and he's about to show up with 5 Vipers. And there's once more a maxed out Zerg. Obviously the Nidus networks have been pretty damn good, especially in creating chaos. And once you deal with units that can burrow and deal a devastating amount of damage, any chaos you can create, it's pretty awesome. Surprised that Serral did not attempt to go for any Nidus attacks yet, but maybe he just felt that he was never that rich. Because he did obviously spend a crazy amount of resources on this first attacks, and it looked like it was going well. But Reynor hang in there with his Lurkers. Serral now does say that if you take out my hatch, I'm gonna go ahead and try to take out one of yours. And the hatchery at 3 o'clock does get picked up. That is so many Vipers. And I really wonder how many Serral has at the moment. I feel like I have... Okay, who's... Oh, it is of course Serral who's gonna land the abducts first. And I think Reynor accidentally clicked on his own Viper there, if I saw that correctly. I actually think Reynor Viper abducted one of his own Vipers on top of Serral's army. Oh, well. Reynor does have more supply, but a lot of that supply is in roaches, as he is gonna get on top of this base one more time. There are some Lurkers though scattered out. And Serral says, alright, that's enough defending. I'm gonna go ahead and attack this time around. Yeah, but he actually dragged it deeper into the Hydra army. If this game ends and this is the final game of the series, I'll take another look at that Abduct. Because that looked kind of funny. Like the best friend that's hanging on the edge of a cliff. Reynor, you're Vipers. You gotta be so careful as he loses one, loses two, loses all three. Serral says, I am still the #1 Viper boy in the business. And now Reynor is forced to run into all these lurkers. There aren't too many units protecting these lurkers anymore, but they are still so freaking good. Reynor has killed a crazy amount of drones on the other side of the map. And Reynor is not going to clean up all these lurkers. Serral 4-0's Reynor. That is definitely what it's starting to look like. Reynor does still have a lot of drones, but I just don't see how he cleans up that army. Maybe these last few roaches, last few lurkers can turn things around. Does Reynor have any like defensive strong units left somewhere? I mean, the supplies are very close, but Reynor has way more drones, and I'm afraid that he can't really get a lot of value out of those drones. But maybe that last counter attack, guys. Maybe it's not. Serral? Not using the units? Okay. 72 army supply against 42. Reynor is the one with a better economy, but Reynor is going to lose those units. There are just so many freaking lurkers everywhere. But every unit counts right now. Reynor tries to get on one lurker of Serral. Serral tries to kill the 2 lurkers of Reynor. 100 supply after 22 minutes of video gaming. Does still feel that Serral has a few more key units. Serral obviously has Vipers, and they are regenerating energy. And Reynor has lost his hive. I don't think Reynor lost the lurker then, but I do believe those buildings are bleeding out. A couple of morphing lurkers get picked off. That is very painful for Reynor. The man with way more drones. Oh, almost killed his own base there. Oh, the buff Viper, baby. Yeah, the Zerka ball thought we wouldn't see that. The old Viper would have killed that hatchery. The buff Viper didn't kill it. No one is ever going to tell me that this does not have an impact. Reynor does land an Abduct, and every single unit counts. Reynor has way more income than Serral, but I still think it's going to be hard for Reynor to actually get value out of that income lead. As the Viper gets abducted, the Viper gets killed, and I think that is the last Viper that Reynor going to see for a while. As now there is a lurker somewhere, or the roaches actually, the roaches of Serral are killing all the drones. Reynor says, this is the fight that I need to take. It doesn't matter if I want to take it or not. I need to take it. The lurkers in the back are starting to do their thing. Most of the roaches of Serral have disappeared. What an absolutely epic game. I mean, Reynor is emptying the pockets right now. He's like, do I have anything left that can fight? Drones, something, anything. It seems like it is barely not going to be good enough. What an awesome game, man. This got so much closer a couple of times than I thought it would go. But in the end, it does really seem that this video game belongs to Serral. Or is there another plot twist? As Reynor has cranked out a couple of links, guys. And links are now getting on top of a lurker. But when your drones are chasing Hydras, as Serral is even sending in the cavalry, the spines and the spores, it is good enough. 4-0 for the Finnish Phenom, Serral. Serral will make it into the grand finals of the Masters Coliseum 7. Reynor drops down to the lower bracket final. And that will do it for your day of video games, guys. It was a 4-0, but I still think it was pretty damn awesome. I think we had a lot of great moments. I enjoyed it. I hope you guys enjoyed it too. I did my best. A 10-0 run so far in the playoffs, guys. That is pretty mental. But hey, it doesn't matter how you start the playoffs. It matters how you finish. The tournament is far from over. Tomorrow we're going to continue the Masters Coliseum 7. Hero versus Solar and Dark versus Maro. These two are going to duke it out with each other in the best of 7. And after that, the winner will play the following day. The winners play against each other the following day. So tomorrow just 2 series. Kind of nice, because tomorrow night I have big brain bouts, so I don't want to be done forever. And the winner of these guys meet here. The winner of that plays against Reynor. And the winner of the last best of 7 in the lower bracket will have a chance to do it all over again. One more time against Serral. I guess Serral has played everyone already, right? No, I don't think he's played Dark in this tournament. Serral has not played Dark. And he also didn't play Hero. There are 2 guys he hasn't played yet. Does Serral get a 1 lead in the grand finals? I actually don't know. Doesn't look like it. I think they're just gonna roll it like this. Best of 9 grand finals. You can say that the advantage Serral has is that he is now already guaranteed top 2. So he has a massive pay jump from guaranteed 4.5 to 9.1k. And he obviously gets a couple of days off, right? Today is Thursday. Grand finals won't be till Sunday. So there is an advantage. But I don't think they're gonna give him the 1-0 lead. I also do not believe in any 5-0s, but yeah, that is going to do it, guys, for the Thursday of video games. I have been live for 5 hours and 15 minutes. I think it was a lot of fun. I had a good time. I hope you guys enjoyed it. We made the best of it. Oh, show Viper. Yeah, good call. Thank you. See? Short-term memory of a goldfish. The Muslim told me this was going on. I would have missed it if he didn't tell me. What a guy, eh? What a guy. That Ben saving StarCraft. Where would we be without Benny? Shout out to Ben, guys. If Ben didn't tell the people, how could they possibly know that this tournament would be going on? The world wouldn't be the same without Ben. A proper ambassador, baby. Where was that Viper fight, guys? Reynor made a lot of Vipers. And then we had a fight near the bridge on Hacky T. That looked really funny. I think it was a panic misclick. But I don't know if it was before or after this. I feel like it was before this. Huh? I gotta go back. But not that far back. I will find it. You think it was after that? What I was just looking at? I mean, soon there's a moment where Reynor has like 5 Vipers on the production tab. And it happens shortly after that. Not bad, guys, for the guy who was successful in 2018, by the way, Serral. I mean, he won that one thing. After that, Lord knows what he did. There are rumors that he started his own holiday park, actually, in Lapland with a bunch of Huskies. And he's taking care of all the igloos, make sure that the lights stay on, make sure that the fireplaces are working properly. But 2024, baby, he's back. Pretty good run. What a guy. You guys counted him out. Still got it. So it was after this. I guess you were right, Ian Blue. Next time, guys, please remind me to look at the clock. Here we go. 5 Vipers. And then we have a panic fight over here in like 20-30 seconds. We're getting close. I have the feeling that Reynor's Vipers got abducted. And then he panic abducted one of his own Vipers deeper into the fight. This is like betrayal of the highest order. If I saw it correctly. I don't know if I did. Yeah. That's a fucked up friend, guys. That is a fucked up friend. Look at this guy. This guy's like, man, I'm so fucked. I am so fucked. You, right there. It's you and me. You said we stay together till the days we die. It's like, get over here. And the Viper's like, fuck, what have I done? Some next level betrayal. If I'm going, you're coming with me, baby. Alright. That is going to do it. GG's, guys. I'll settle our channel point prediction, and then I wish all of you guys a very happy Thursday. I will be back tomorrow morning. Fridays are very long days for me. We're going to wake up early, play a couple letter games, and then obviously cast the 2 best of 7s of the Masters Coliseum, and then we'll probably take a little break, and then we are back with the BASILISK Big Brain Bouts. You guys want to see Protoss win? Main event tomorrow night, guys. Hearthstone versus Australia. A Protoss will win. How many points did you guys wager? 2.1 million against 830,000. Yeah, the day was a little bit shorter than I thought it was going to be, but it's still been a 5 hour and 20 minute stream. I think that's pretty reasonable. I've done my best. I hope you guys liked it. I hope you guys had a chuckle and a giggle or two. And enjoy the video games. I'll be back tomorrow. Same time, same place. Let's go ahead and send you guys on over to somebody else. Hey, Ben is back. Why is Ben back?